Welcome to the first ever Housecall Pro Virtual Summit. We are so excited to bring you 2 days of incredible product and business learning sessions from our in-house experts. Make sure you go check out the virtual expo floor. You can go into it at any point in the day, but at the beginning and end of each day, you can actually chat with our product team live. And during the sessions, we really encourage you to engage in the chat and ask questions that come up for you. All right, enough housekeeping. Kicking us off today is Roland Ligtenberg, co-founder and SVP of Innovation and Growth at Housecall Pro. In this session titled, Elevating Your Home Service Business, Strategies for Growth and Innovation, he'll be walking you through 4 frameworks for implementing innovative growth strategies with plenty of examples. Over to you, Roland.
Welcome to the first session of the first ever Housecall Pro Virtual Summit. It's so good to see a lot of familiar and new faces joining us here today. So thank you for joining. All right, my name is Roland Ligtenberg and I'm one of the co-founders of Housecall Pro. We're here today because we're going to explore an important concept that is foundational to any business striving to excel, especially in the home services industry. It's a simple truth. In order to grow, you have to innovate. Innovation means stepping beyond the usual. You have to be willing to try and do things that others aren't, especially your local competition. It's about making bold choices and exploring uncharted paths that distinguish you in a crowded and largely undifferentiated market. But let's be clear, growth is uncomfortable. It pushes us out of our comfort zones, challenging us to adapt and evolve. So we need to get used to it, embrace it, and see it as a vehicle to our success. Today, I hope to show you why innovation and growth go hand in hand and why their integration is not just important, but essential. It's the key not only to staying ahead, but also increasing the distance between yourself and your competition. In the end of the talk, I hope you'll see the undeniable connection between pushing the boundaries in your business practices and achieving substantial, sustainable growth. We'll discuss 4 key frameworks that can revolutionize the way we operate. We're going to start with talking about how we empower our employees, then how can we enhance the customer experience and journey, how do we engage with our community, and strategically navigate through uncharted market territories using a blue ocean strategy. Each framework is a step toward us not just adapting the change, but also driving it. Let's dive into how we can turn these concepts into actionable strategies that will elevate your business and set you apart from the rest. Let's dive in now. All right, when we're talking about our employees, we want to make sure that as owners, we're not the only ones innovating. We're also helping empower our employees to do it. And so we have to make sure that we're fostering a culture of innovation within the company itself, where employees feel safe to fail and learn, in addition to just trying things, not being embarrassed. I think it starts with finding your employees. When you're out there, you really need to hire and find these curious individuals. You want to find ones that don't embarrass easily. I like to say unembarrassable, but I guess it's not a real word. And they don't feel dejected by failure. And they always take opportunity to learn from those failures. Failure is inevitable and it's okay. But as long as they're learning, that's what makes it okay. And so these types of individuals, it's going to breed a certain sense of autonomy. And autonomy is important because it leads to ownership. And when there's ownership, you know that your techs, your employees are taking care of your customers the way that you would have done when you were first starting your business. So, make sure that as you're interviewing them, you're asking them a couple key questions that'll help suss out if they have those types of qualities and characteristics. One question I like to ask, is, what are some creative ways you solved a homeowner's problem? Describe it to me, and what made it different from all the other times that you did it? Do they exhibit some sort of creative process that they went through to try to help that customer? And are they comfortable talking about it and sharing it? Did they go outside of the rules? Did they break the rules? Did they break the process to do what was right? Those are all very important. Another question I like to ask is, what is your most embarrassing moment in front of the homeowner? I think everyone you're going to interview, especially in the home services space, is going to have a great story to tell you. But don't just ask the question to hear the story. Ask the question to see in what way do they tell you the story. Are they almost proud of it? Are they not shy about saying that? Those are the types of people that you want to lean into because it's going to happen again. And the people that are used to dealing with it are going to be the ones that are being comfortable trying new things, which leads to that innovation that you want. I also like to ask just a more generic question that doesn't even relate to business, but this one's just centered around, what is the most interesting thing you've recently learned? Are they studying something else outside of their current world of business, their current craft? Do they have other interests and passions? We're going to talk about it in a second, but there's a little framework I like to use, which is called EIP, and I'll break it down, but that really relates to the P, which is the passion side. Do they have a passion outside? And are they good at consuming information, finding information, being curious? Because in curiosity often comes answers for different ways that we can try new processes, new innovations, new things for your business. So what's EIP? This is something that I use myself, but also I think all people should evaluate folks that they're hiring for their business. So the E stands for execution. So what's the execution level? What's their ability to actually take an idea and go do the thing, or just do the job day to day, and rank them from 1 to 5. I'll talk to you about kind of the rating system here, but so E is the first one, execution. The intelligence is the second one. Do they have the gray matter? Are they smart? Can they troubleshoot? Can they figure out on their own? Or are they going to be the type of person that's going to call you for every single thing that just doesn't make sense, and then you're just tethered to your phone trying to help them out while they're out in the field? So that's the second one. And the third one is passion. The passion could be a passion for the job, could be a passion for the craft, passion for helping customers or their community, but do they just have a passion for something? Do they get excited by something? Remember the question I told you to ask them before, which is, what is something interesting you learned recently? Tell me about it. That helps evaluate that third metric. The way that I like to do it is, something like a rubric like 1 through 5. And so 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And then the way that I think about the numbers is 1 is somebody who if you rate someone 1, it's a waste of a time. You shouldn't even be interviewing them, and you should probably cut the interview short. 2 is, this is just not what we're looking for. Then 3 is a number that I never rate someone, because they're either going to fall on one side of the spectrum or the other. If you rate people 3s, you're not really doing them justice, and you're not doing yourself justice and your business justice. Okay. 4 is someone who's strong and gave a good answer. And 5 is someone that you want to make sure they don't leave the building or don't leave an interview without a job offer in hand. So what you do is you rate them across those 3. So execution, intelligence, and passion, that 1 to 5 matrix, 1 to 5 rubric. You can also have some of your other employees interview them. I recommend that as well, especially as you start growing. In the beginning, you have to do it all. You have to be the end decision maker and take responsibility for it. But those are the ones that I feel that framework that helps identify folks that can be innovative, that are willing to try new things, that have the confidence to do it, confidence to execute, and are passionate in the way they do it, because they're going to treat the customer the way that you would have when you were starting to build your business. The last thing I'm going to talk about empowering your employees to be innovative is, you have to have an open and transparent process. And the easiest way to do that is to be open and transparent about the process you do yourself. So oftentimes, and I do this a lot too with my teams, is I share my mistakes, and then I like to share my learnings. And by doing that, you open yourself up to be vulnerable, but it also shows your employees that it's okay to fail. What you don't want is to have people saying that all they do is win. Because the reality is you can't always win. And if you are always winning, there's moments where you're losing, and there's definitely things that are not being talked about that are probably going to bubble up later down in the road. So make sure you have an open and transparent process. I like to do this through doing one-on-ones on a weekly basis with each of my direct reports. And I encourage them to have one-on-ones every single week with their direct reports. And those one-on-ones aren't about, hey, what'd you do? How did it go? This is more, hey, how's your week? You can talk to them about their personal life, how they're doing. Ask them if they're stuck on anything. How can you help? This has nothing to do really with just task-based things. Sometimes what you can do is you can ask them a little bit about a problem that they encountered maybe with a homeowner and how you would have done something. So those are really great opportunities to do that. But on the one-on-one, you want to make sure that you can show the different things that they're working on in any given week and how they tie to the overall company mission. So if you can do those things in the one-on-ones, I think you're going to set yourself up for hiring people that are open to innovate, open to try new things, that are creative, that don't have a fear of failure, that can't be embarrassed, and always try to do the right thing at the same time being passionate about something. They have some sort of passion. So that's the first framework. Second one, really important. This is how do we innovate around the customer experience? Some people call this the customer journey, customer experience, kind of the same thing, same boat. The first step I like to do, and I tell all home service businesses to do, is map out your current customer experience and map it out from the second that they find out about you. How do they find out about you? Where do they find out about you? What do they do? Did they call you? Did they text you? Did they chat in? Did they, I don't know, smoke signals? Hopefully not. Whatever ways they found out about you, start mapping that out. Because what's really important is as you're mapping that out, you're going to start to potentially discover some holes. Sometimes I hear home service businesses that are like, oh my gosh, I like to book online, but I found out that I didn't even offer that to my customers. Like I like to order things on DoorDash. I like to order Ubers. I like to book things and transact this way. I usually pay with credit cards because I want the points because I take my kids to Disney every year. So oftentimes as a part of mapping your own customer journey, you have to realize you're not even offering things that you like as a customer of home services yourself, or a customer of the world for that matter. And then what I would do is the second mapping, which is getting your baseline around what do you do after the experience? How are you following up with them? Remember, home service customers aren't built on continuously finding new customers. It's about finding new customers that turn into your customers for life and that recommend and refer you to others. And that's how you drive growth. And so it's really important to figure out, what does that follow-up sequence look like? Are you reaching out to them monthly, yearly, quarterly? Why are you reaching out to them? How can you reach out to them? How are you asking them for a review? How are you asking them for a referral? If you're not mapping out those processes, then it's really hard to figure out where you might have some holes. So start with that. Like I mentioned before, it's really easy to start to think about what you would like as a homeowner yourself. I order a lot of home services for my own home. Just recently, I needed to have an oak trimmed out and 6 different trees removed, a stump grounded. And so I went through the process of booking 4 different tree service companies, and I went through each different customer journey with all of them. And I ended up picking the one that gave me the way that I wanted to book, which actually happened to be booking online, and then having them come out, give me a quote. And they gave me this great estimate with a couple of different options and different ways they could go. But besides that, the way that you want to do business is a way that you should enable your homeowners, your customers, to do business with you. All right, some other things just to kind of keep in mind as you're doing this. In the world today, in 2024, you have to make sure you're offering some sort of online booking. Now, it doesn't have to be all the services that you offer, but just even the services that get your foot in the door. Allow people to book online, because over 40% of those bookings are going to come after business hours. And those are bookings you might have missed. And if there's one thing that I know, I'm fairly impatient. And so if I don't get an answer quickly, if I'm just filling out contact forms and not knowing when people are ever going to contact me back or leaving a bunch of voicemails, I'm going to go to the first person that actually I feel comfortable with, where I get a confirmation, right, of a booking when someone's coming out. And so if you're offering online booking, you can capture those. So remember, you don't have to do all the services that you offer, but definitely think about the basic ones that get your foot in the door. Are they tune-ups? Are they standard service calls? Are they just standard diagnosis? Are they standard estimates? Are they not free estimates? Are they paid estimates? Think about what you can offer in the online booking piece. If you're not innovating there, that's the most basic place to start. The second one, which may seem a little more controversial, but offer transparent pricing. Now, a lot of people tell me, well, Roland, if I put my prices online, then my business just becomes a number. The truth is, those prices that you put online aren't really for like an e-commerce transaction. Like, I bought this thing, that's it. This is more for when you're out at the customer's home and you just open your webpage and your prices are right there. It feels like when you're at their place, they didn't just roll up to a nice house and all of a sudden the prices are double. And you sat down in the truck, and hopefully you're using Housecall Pro to give them a digital experience. But imagine, just coming out with some price and then coming back in the home with some random price. As a homeowner, if you see that the prices are what they are, that helps build trust. And in that trust, that's where you win, where others don't. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the experience of after they've booked the job. When your technician is en route, I know my wife, especially when she's home without me there, she wants to know who's coming to the home, who's coming. We've got some cameras definitely on the driveway, so we can even see who's coming. Can we see the lettering? Can we see the badging? But the biggest thing is we have a newborn child, and we want to know when someone's going to be there and at what time. And so for me, being professional and transparent around that is sending an on my way text. And in that on my way text, can you send a picture of the technician? Can I match up the photo of the person that I see on my phone to the person that's at the doorway? Those are really important. And those are things where you're differentiating, and it may seem uncomfortable to do that. It may seem hard to get your technicians to do that, but those are things that others are not offering, which is still innovative, even though you see that happening in lots of other industries. Home services, you're still ahead if you do things like that. I think service plans are another thing in the customer experience, which are great. For me, I don't mind subscriptions. I like subscriptions, especially if they get me something. So if you can build great service plans that enable your homeowner to get priority service in the summertime, if they're a service plan member. I can't remember if I tuned up my AC this year. It would just be nice if someone just knew every single year to come out in springtime to go check out that my AC works, so that way my home is comfortable during the summer months. I'd be happy to pay for that. So offer something like that that takes the burden off the homeowner remembering to book you, to you doing so proactively and reaching out to your customer to get them the help they need. What else do we have here? Something maybe more practical that isn't really software related, but when your technician's out them, give them like a whoopsie budget. Give them a customer satisfaction budget. You may charge some amount to go out for a service fee, and then if you do a repair, you refund it, or maybe you don't. Sometimes customers will push back on some of the pricing. Maybe they'll push back on, I don't know, something that should have been offered, or they didn't feel was fair, or whatever. I would give your unembarrassable, autonomous, extreme ownership technicians the ability to make some decisions on the fly. Give them a pricing budget where they can just do a customer satisfaction discount, whatever it is, up to a certain amount. Give them a couple $100, because at the end of the day, a homeowner that's happy is going to be referring your business, and that's going to get your own customer. How much would you have paid for that customer if you're doing a PPC campaign, if you're doing a lead gen campaign, if you're doing direct mail, whatever you're doing? How much would you have paid for that new customer? So keep that in the mind of when you're offering some sort of customer satisfaction budget. Put that as your technician and allow them to take more ownership of that customer interaction. Last thing I'll say here, actually there's two more things. I think that this one's a pretty big one for me is, how do the customers want to pay? I don't want to be offered all these different pricing for the different pricing mechanisms that I want. It's always such a pain if they're like, I will do Venmo, but I won't do Zelle, and I will do cash, and I will do check, but I won't do credit card. I will do financing, but I'll only do it, but financing is going to be more, so you got to tell me you're going to finance before, because I got to build it into the price. These are all things that can be avoided. If you make it so that the homeowner can choose whichever payment method they want, and it doesn't increase or change their price, that is when you win, because you're letting the customer pay the way they want to pay. And also, you don't know their financial situation. A lot of times in a lot of the home service industries, you're coming out there to give a bid for an expense that they did not know was coming. And so you can't judge that on them. So my suggestion was, if you build that into their pricing, if they ask for a discount, if they pay cash or check, you can, because you built that in your pricing, and you could do it that way. But otherwise, you can just earn a higher margin on those cash jobs, and you can also offer and subsidize these other types of payment methods that make it easier for the customer to do business with you. The last one I'll mention real quick, this is like a personal favorite of mine, is I recently had some blinds done at my house, some window treatments, and the company actually we ended up going with, the guy had handwritten a card, not after he won the business, but before he won the business, just thanking him or thanking us for allowing him to come in the home and take a look and potentially be the one to install the blinds for us. So there's different ways that you can innovate on this. You could set up Zapier, which is an automation tool, or Make, another automation tool, that integrates with another platform like Handwritten or like Thankster that will handwrite a card for you after an estimate. So you can say, if after estimate not accepted, send a handwritten card 2 days later. Those things are going to make you stand out in a market because I guarantee your competitor's not doing that. And that's going to help you win jobs that normally you would have never won before. All right, so we've just talked about 2 different frameworks, 2 different things that you can do. One, which was empowering your employees, finding great employees to be innovative in your business. The second one was just innovating around the customer experience. The third one here that I want to talk about is community. How do you leverage community? Community is really important because you're going to be able to glean a whole ton of insights in different ways that customers are thinking about what they're looking to get for their home services that you're about to offer. So a lot of the ideas are going to come from them. So you have to go to where they're at. You're a local business. So if you can be in these community groups, there's oftentimes local mom groups, there's PTA groups, there's school groups, there's just local community groups. If you can just be helpful in those groups and you give and you never try to sell, don't be that person when a homeowner says, who can do my AC? Who do you recommend? And you're recommending your own business. Do not be that person. Do not be that person. If someone says, hey, how do I change the thermostat? Help those people. And then what you want to do is not just solve the problem, but give them your number and say, hey, if you ever run into any other problems, feel free to give me a call. That will turn into a customer 100% of the times down the road if you help them. And you did not push a sale on them. You did not recommend your own business. And you didn't get your aunt and uncle to recommend your business either on the Facebook group or next door. So be helpful. Remember to give before you sell. I think that a lot of those threads too, you'll see, some the homeowner may say like, oh, I think I need this. And then contractors will be like, no, you need this or you need this. If a homeowner wants to do something some way, try to help them, give them a way to do it themselves, knowing that they'll probably just say, you know what, you gave me the answer. Can you just do that for me? Some other interesting things you can do when it comes around community is how can you do giveaways to special audiences? When it's back to school time, can you put a post out there that says, hey, Roland's HVAC is giving away free furnace or free tune-up or whatever it is. Nominate your best local teacher, tag them in this thread. Roland's HVAC supports our local schools. Now you've got people interacting. People like to make sure that their friends or people that they respect or admire are getting free things, and you're the one giving it. This gives you a lot of visibility, a lot of posts, and do a random giveaway. Heck, you can give all those things away. And here's the best thing. A lot of business owners don't know that they can take whatever the cost is that they give away and write it off as a marketing expense. So that's all write-off. And you're doing a good thing. And you're getting exposure in your community. Those are all wins. So you can innovate around giveaways, innovate different audiences. Maybe you do something to support, I don't know, your local firefighters, right? Maybe there's something tied around the seasons. I love the local coffee cup idea. This one is one that I've seen done before, work really well. Load up just a cash credit card, load it up with a certain amount of dollars, and go to your local coffee shop, go to your local bakery, go to your local whatever it is, and give them the card and say, hey, each time, and you can put a little, ask them like, hey, can I put a little poster board here or something that says like, hey, Roland's HVAC supports, such and such, like our local teachers. If you're a teacher, coffee's on us or whatever. And then as soon as they come by, someone says, oh, there's a free coffee, that's great. And then put that on that card. Make sure that the sleeve that they leave with, it's got your logo on it. That's really cool. But try things that not only help you're promoting this local coffee shop or this local bakery, but also you're helping the community and you're giving just free coffees away just to get your name out. Things like that compound over time. They may seem small, but remember, you're a local business and people want to do business with local companies. So make sure you're there when they're looking and even when they're not. All right, the last one is just, can you do some business development? There's all these old school B&I groups and things like that, but can you find some other local companies that you like and that you admire? And can you pull them together once a month or maybe once a year and say, hey guys, we're going to do leave behind. The leave behind has like all of Roland's preferred companies, right? And so if I'm an HVAC, I'm going to have a local electrician, I'm going to have a local plumber, a local window cleaner, a local home cleaning company, a local tree company, whatever it is. I'm going to put them on the flyer, and I'm just going to leave that behind. And after every single job, I say, hey, homeowner, I know, we just offered you a 5-star service. There's some other companies here that I like. I don't know if you were thinking about doing any of these ones, but these are ones that offer the same kind of service level, quality, and care like I did for your house. And just leave it behind. And then have them leave their own leave behinds. You can all go in on that. Simple things like that help bolster the local community. And even if not everyone's leaving 100% of the leave behinds every single time, your business is top of mind, and that's the most important thing. All right, we've got 2 more we're going to cover. Second one is, what is Blue Ocean strategy, and what are some ways that you can kind of implement it? Not just implement it, but use it to find new ideas for your business to try. So I'm giving you some ideas as I'm talking about these bigger points, but ultimately you're going to have to be in charge of finding these different hacks, these different innovative ideas, the different marketing acquisition channels, the different operational efficiency innovations, etc. The first thing is, consider which factors in the home service industry are taken for granted, but could be eliminated to reduce costs or simplify offerings. I think a lot of folks overcomplicate things. They add too many steps to a process. So this isn't innovating on getting more customers. This is like streamlining things. Where can you eliminate things? Is there a step somewhere that shouldn't be there? So first thing when you think about Blue Ocean strategy, what can you eliminate? Second one is reduce. What elements of a service could be dialed down to lower the cost or streamline operations? Are you going to a site multiple times? A great example is, are your technicians running out of parts on the job and they keep having to go on parts runs? So you're paying for all this. How do you eliminate that? So all the time they spend on site is time that they could be actually billing, not just you paying for their time running around, running to Home Depot, running to the local supply house. The third one is raise, which is, can you identify aspects of your service that could be improved to stand out from the competition? I don't know, if you're window cleaning and everyone is offering inside, outside windows, can you offer inside, outside, and tracks, right? End screens. Can you add some to it to make it a little bit different? And then can you talk about that in your marketing material? Can you talk about that when you're going over what you're going to do for a homeowner? The last one is create, which is, look for opportunities to introduce new features and things that you can sell, new services that has never been offered before. A lot of times this might be as simple as expanding to a new line of business. If you're window cleaning, do you do Christmas lights on the side? Do you do gutter cleaning? Do you also do power washing? So can you have multiple service lines within your business? What can you expand to? What are things that are complementary, right? Though that's a simple kind of framework to think about it. Once again, what can you eliminate? 2 is, what can you reduce? 3, is there something that you can raise or improve? And the last one is, what can you create from brand new? So those are the 4 different kind of frameworks, ideas, general things that you should be working on in your business to help drive innovation. I'm going to give you some extra practical ideas. These are just some tips. And this is really just to start your brain juices kind of flowing. You can take these ideas, try them, change them a little bit. Maybe they're good ideas, maybe they're bad ideas. I've definitely seen all these work. I think one thing that I've seen done that I loved, and this is a great idea, but after any single job, can you leave even a paper survey for the homeowner that the homeowner has to sign off on, that before the technician can leave the job site? And we're like, well, what's on this checklist? Maybe on this checklist it says, hey, did I answer all your questions? There's a checkbox, and the homeowner can check that. Did I talk you through all the options? Yes. Check. Did they point out any other additional things they noticed? Check. And the last thing that you want to have on there is, are you 100% satisfied? And if the homeowner can't check that, then your technician needs to stay there to fix something, change something. If that doesn't get checked, then have part of the protocol be call the owner, call the office. Let's see what we can do to make sure you're 100% satisfied. And if you do that, you reduce bad star ratings. It increases your good star ratings. And just make sure that your technicians are held accountable by the homeowner. They're delivering a service that you're proud of, that your company is proud of. That's one fun idea. The second one that I always recommend pros do is, whenever you do a job, or whenever your technicians do a job at a customer's home, you have to make sure that they always leave with a couple extra estimates. Could be one estimate, could be multiple estimates. You're probably like, well, Roland, they didn't ask for an estimate for anything else. Remember, it's not always your homeowner's job to request an estimate. You are the home service professional. You know the homes better than even they do. If you see something that needs to be fixed, whether you offer it or not, try to give them an estimate. An estimate might be a service that you offer that you happen to notice while you're out there. And so you can simply say, hey, you know what, dear homeowner, I finished the job. Are you 100% satisfied? Yes. Just so you know, while I was out there, I noticed a couple other things. I just wrote up a couple estimates here for you while I was on site. If you ever decided you want to do it, let me know. You can always call me back. There's no pressure here. Just some things that I think you should be taking care of, either now or sometime in the near future. And just do that. And what you're doing for yourself is you're building up a database for in the slow times when you could go call up the homeowners. You can look at all the open estimates that you have, and you can say, hey, Miss Homeowner, or hey, Mr. Homeowner, we were out here last July. We also noticed a couple other things. Right now, we're going to be in your neighborhood. Do you want us to take care of some of those things? So remember, these are just easy ways to start generating more growth through your business by implementing an innovative idea, by not leaving any job site without giving the customer another estimate for something else. By the way, the estimate doesn't have to be just for your service. It could be just something that you noticed, and you can always tell them, hey, I noticed your fencing's falling. If you ever wanted to know, I've got a couple good suggestions for you. Now you're just being helpful, and you're building a customer that loves and trusts you and will be your customer for many years to come. Two more kind of ideas I'm going to leave you with here before I wrap it up. But one should be, if you want to implement some sort of system that maybe feels more process-driven or rigid, a great idea is, and I've seen a couple home service companies do this, is they send a homeowner, they send them a video of what to expect for the job. So oftentimes that'll be something like, hey, expect them to show up and not park in your driveway. Expect them to show up to wear booties. Expect them to make sure that, they're either friendly with your dog or not. Expect them to give you 3 different options on how to fix something. Expect them to do this. And when you're priming the homeowner with what they should expect, it's going to make it a lot easier for your technician to come in there and build that trust with the homeowner. And that technician doesn't have to feel weird about following some sort of process because they know that the homeowner has already seen that video. So that's a fun one. You can go out and film that. You can have like a local film crew or local community college, video student shoot something for you. But if you can send those out before every job, that's a great way to start priming those things. And maybe even in that video, I'd suggest, hey, if you're not 100% satisfied, let us know before we leave a job. We will not leave a job site unless you're 100% satisfied. And just put that in there. Maybe that's your motto. The last idea I'll just leave you with kind of ties in the community aspect, but it may be in the slow seasons that you've got crew that you still have hours for, that you're paying for. Maybe you've cleaned all your equipment and you don't know what to do with them. The best thing that you can have them do is community service. Take your entire team out and go figure out ways to give back to your community. You are already paying them. They're already on the clock. It's burnt money. So can you do some of that burnt money? If you can help your local community, do something community service oriented, attend some local chapter meetings, whatever it is, those things will always end up paying off for you in the long run. It's an investment, but remember, you're already out those hours, so give those a try. Remember, yesterday you said tomorrow, so just go out and do it. In the home service industry, if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. So today, we've looked at 4 different ways to help your business grow and stay fresh with new ideas. We've talked about making your team feel powerful, autonomous, extreme ownership. You've talked a little bit about improving how customers see and interact with your services, improving that customer journey, how to connect with people in your community, and even finding completely new ways to stand out from the crowd using Blue Ocean strategy. Remember, being innovative isn't just about trying new things once in a while. It's about changing the way you think and act every single day. It means being brave, trying things that may feel a bit scary, being uncomfortable, and always looking for ways to do better. So as we finish up, think about taking these ideas back to your team. Talk about them. Talk about them in one-on-ones, team meetings. Tweak them to fit what you need and start putting them into action. The best way to see change is to make it happen step by step. So don't just wait around for the right time. The best time to start is now. Go out there, use what you've learned, and make your business the best it can be. Remember, the best way to know what the future holds is to build it yourself. So, I'm really excited with all the rest of the virtual summit sessions we've got coming up. I've got a great one about AI, talking about product roadmap. We've got amazing speakers lined up for you guys. I'm excited you're here and glad you're investing in yourself.
Like Roland said, growth is uncomfortable. Get used to it. But your aspirations for growth are probably why you're here at the virtual summit. When it comes to infusing your business with innovation, start with your team, candidly examine areas of opportunity within your customer experience, look to your customer community for inspiration, and try out the blue ocean strategy. You can find Roland and the rest of our community team discussing topics like this and much more in the Housecall Pros Facebook group. Make sure to join through this link today.